I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Aloha, everyone. The Wahiawa Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 is open for a meeting at 7:04 p.m. on a Monday night. Thank you for being here. We do welcome all of our participants virtually and in person. And do we have anything that needs to be announced before the Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with our usual agenda. Do we have fire department, please?
Good evening, everyone. These are the neighborhood board statistics for the month of July. If you need more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the news and info tab. You can also email questions to hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. That's hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. We have some information that was previously requested in the June neighborhood board meeting. There were 2 wildland brush fires in Wahiawa's administrative area in May, and someone asked where they were. We didn't have an answer at that time, but we found out the locations of those 2 brush fires were Kunia Road and Willakina Drive near Schofield Barracks, and the other one was at Saipan Drive and Whitmore Avenue in the Whitmore neighborhood. So for July 2025, the statistics we have, there was 1 structure fire, 4 brush fires, 1 nuisance fire, which includes rubbish, 7 activated alarms with no fire. We had 53 medical emergencies, 10 motor vehicle collisions. And the fire safety tip for this month regards emergency notifications and resources. So understanding how you'll be alerted during emergencies and knowing where to find accurate official information is a key part of being prepared. You can learn more at honolulu.gov/dem/stay-informed. So there's 2 alert methods that we recommend. One is the opt-in alert. The other is the public alert and warning systems that you guys hear the tsunami sirens. So the opt-in alert are people that signed up to receive alerts via text, email, or app push notifications. Alerts are not sent based on your location. So systems include HNL Alert and official government social media. You can sign up at hnlalert.gov to receive notifications. Alerts may be shared by official city, state, and trusted partner accounts if you do sign up. Then there's the public alert and warning systems. They deliver urgent life-saving info during immediate threats to public safety. In Hawaii, this includes the EAS, Emergency Alert System, and the WEA, Wireless Emergency Alerts. We also have outdoor warning sirens. Depending on the emergency, 1 or more of these systems may be activated. That's all I have. Are there any questions at this time?
Any questions from the board? Yes, go ahead.
Hello? I got a question on who determines neighboring properties if the brush is too high? Do we request an inspection or?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I know we don't have enforcement right on private property, but that's something that you can ask them as a neighbor to do. As far as reporting, I'm not sure that there's any actual enforcement on that. If it would, it might be PD's responsibility rather than ours.
Unfortunately, in this case, I'm talking about state property.
A state property.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not certain. I would have to find out that information for you. I know sometimes we work with the Department of Health on things if there's like border conditions and such. But as
Well,
far
I can
as,
tell you who owns the property is the Hawaii Housing Authority.
okay.
But there's a part of their property that's been neglected for years,
Okay.
and calls have been made to Hawaii Housing Authority and
So they're aware of
no
the problem.
action.
No action. Okay. I'm going to have to research that and get back to you next month with an answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have our Dean. Dean, you have a question?
Yeah, good evening, sir. I was wondering, is there any suspicion or potential possible suspicious activity on the a firebug going around starting these brushland fires?
There is some suspicion. That's a good question. Some of you guys know we've had some brush fires recently in the Cunilla farm lots area. It's definitely suspicion. Anytime that we get a fire, we assume that it's intentional until proven otherwise. We've had multiple fires over the last few weeks. Nothing has been proven. No suspect has been identified at this point in time. So right now it's just an assumption. We don't know anything more, but of course we're being vigilant and ready to respond. And if someone is lighting fires, we hope that they get caught, and those laws that are being broken will be enforced by police.
And a follow-up, any evidence of an accelerant being used to start these fires? They seem to be out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have any information on that. I can try to find out more for you, but at this point in time, I don't even think there's an investigation that has started yet. These brush fires cover many, many acres, so it's real hard to identify where it started or even what started it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dean. And TJ has a question.
Hi, thank you for your report on the fires. The two that you reported on earlier, you said one was on Saipan Road.
Yes.
And where was the other one?
The other one was at Cunilla and Willikina, right by Schofield Barracks.
I see. Were either of those just brush fires, or do you think they were maliciously set? And I guess I'm more concerned, not too much about the Cunilla and Willikina, but more concerned about the Saipan Road, because it is in the area of Whitmore Village, and there are a number of residential residences in that area.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, I'm not familiar with either of those two. You know, to be honest, a lot of our brush fires are intentionally set. I don't know the specifics on those, but yeah, I'll have to find out more information about that for you.
And just wanted to follow up, if you do find out that that property on Saipan Road actually belongs to the state and its ADC partner, would you kindly follow up with them to see if anything has been done about it? Because I know that area has been rampant with a lot of unnecessary activity going on there. And I think ADC and the state as well, besides DBED, right, under Jimmy Tokioka, I think they need to be made aware of that situation, because we would much rather use our wonderful resources that the fire department brings to our community to elsewhere, besides putting out fires on state land.
Okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll try
Appreciate
to
it.
find out more information for you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Just a comment. I had occasion to call 911 this morning for an ambulance. One of your fellows, Ryan, showed up first. Extremely courteous and professional. I appreciated his help very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we love Wahiawa. We love the people here in the community, and we're always happy to serve. I encourage you guys to call 911 anytime that you guys have an emergency or a problem that needs to be dealt with. We're on duty 24 hours a day, and love to help out whatever we can do. But thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Okay, questions from the community? Any questions from the community for fire department? Okay, and virtually, any questions for fire department? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our police department.
Good evening, Bart and the public. Lieutenant Navarez, Wahiawa Station. I normally work day watch. Lieutenant Vieira is off. He's getting Taser 10 qualified, so I had to fill in for him. But hopefully I can do as good a job as he does. But as far as the type of cases we had 3 assaults, 0 robberies, 4 burglaries, 7 UMVs, total of 59 motor vehicle collisions, and calls for service for your area is 1,199 that our officers responded to. We have a new major in our district. It's James Slater. So he recently just came to us from traffic division. So you might see a little bit more enforcement because he's coming from that division. Normally, a lot of times their pet peeves or what they want to accomplish within their under their jurisdiction or under their command, probably mirrors where they came from. So you may see more of our officers out there doing enforcement and stuff like that. So please don't be alarmed or stuff. But our safety chip will be in line with that. Please drive safely. Schools just started, both elementary and soon to be UH expect heavier traffic on the roadways. And unfortunately, because kids are at schools in school zones, please drive safely and watch out for kids running across the street. Any questions?
Questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for your report, and you're doing a fabulous job. And thank you for your service and your team. I just wanted to know, what is the difference, or how do you classify a robbery versus a burglary?
Okay, well, robbery is when when it's a person on another person. So if somebody comes up, tries to take something from you with force, then that's a robbery. A burglary is normally like this building, that'll be a burg second. If it's a house or residence, then that'll be a burg first because they went into somebody's residence. But this type of building would be like a burg second.
Great, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Go ahead, June.
Got a question. I remember at one time the HPD did what they call a Citizens Police Academy. Is that being brought back, or is it being considered?
Funny that you mentioned that, because last year when I was acting captain for this district, I did attend a graduation from that. I don't know if we have any current classes in session right now, but I can check and I'll relate it to you guys, or I'll email it to you guys when's the next session. But I know we had one last year because as acting captain, I had to attend those.
Yeah, just for board's information, that's a good thing to attend, because then you know the operation of the entire PD and what they go through and the training and everything. And you learn a lot.
Yes, yeah. And to expand more on that, yes, they do. They actually, I think, take you to the range. They introduce you to the taser. I don't know if they actually allow you guys to get shot, but most of us got shot by the taser. So you get an appreciation when you use these weapons and how much it hurts. So you use it sparingly because you actually felt what it felt like. So OC to our pepper spray, we actually all get sprayed. So if we spray it, we know the effects on us and what it can do. So yeah, a lot of that police academy actually goes through a lot of the laws, the process to being a police officer, and it follows through. I think all the way through the driving, firearms, and all the different types of weapons we have, or shouldn't say weapons, but equipment or tools we have on our belt that we could use.
Okay, any other questions for HPD? Yes, go ahead.
So just to be clear, the increased police presence is because new police have been moved to this area? Because you mentioned not to be alarmed. I'm just curious as to what you meant.
Okay, sorry about it. Didn't mean to. No, just that you might see more of an enforcement with traffic and stuff like that. A lot of times when majors move, they have certain, I guess, agendas or stuff that they want. And our major coming from traffic, he may want more traffic enforcement and stuff like that. So if you do see people, officers out in the area and stuff like that, it may be a reflection of our assignments and things like that.
Okay. thank
Along
you.
that line,
Yes, sir.
I guess it's traffic, mopeds and motorcycles
Mhm.
on Rose Street.
On Rose Street.
Yes, in
specifically?
particular, because Rose Street is slanted and they love racing up and down
Okay.
on one wheel. Major Slater, right?
Yes, it's our new major.
Put a bug in his ear.
Okay, no. I know we did have an ongoing complaint on that, unfortunately, because I'm the admin. Okay, about the dirt bikes and stuff like that. I know we've been working with the military to close up that gate that leads into the intermediate school that goes into the East Range and the stuff. So we've been working with the military to get that closed up and get more enforcement in that area. These all officers there watching and trying to, I guess, prevent. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
I recently spoke with the owner of one of the new businesses in Wahiawa. He runs the sub shack on Willikina Drive, and he's been noticing people driving in the opposite direction of traffic, even though it's a one-way street. And I've noticed it too.
Right as you enter, right
Yeah,
by the
there are
traffic.
people who do a U-turn and drive even though it's a one-way and it merges into the freeway exit, they're driving in the opposite direction and doing illegal U-turns. And he's said it's been very dangerous. And I witnessed it too when I was, patroning that restaurant. And I was wondering if you guys could potentially pay attention to that.
Oh, definitely. If
He
I would
said it's a daily occurrence.
Yeah,
And I believe it because I saw it while I was there. Yeah.
Well, if we do have a riser on that, I can send officers out and we can address that. But even without a riser, I'll have my officers. In fact, I work tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. I'll send those guys to make checks of that area and make sure that nobody's going. Well, a lot of times do they try to make right at that traffic? They figured out they're in the wrong lane and they're trying to get onto the freeway and they make that turn right there.
Yeah.
Or they're just lazy and don't want to make the U-turn further down.
Yeah.
We can deal with that.
Thank you.
If I can dovetail off of that, Ethan, about what time did you witness that? So that maybe that would help the officers when they're looking.
I witnessed it in the afternoon, probably around 4 p.m., 3:30, 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe, is that like a
Oh,
comment?
yes, we can. We can.
Yeah.
If they do it consistently or
Yeah.
just blatantly out like that.
The owner said it was pretty consistent.
I'll bring
Okay,
that
so
up.
around 4 o'clock.
Just in the morning.
Okay, thank you so much. And TJ, you had a follow-up question?
And actually, while we were talking about the e-bikes, I wanted to give a big mahalo to your team because there was a group of young men, probably middle school age, that were riding their e-bikes quite fast on a street right here in Wahiawa, not on California Avenue. And one of the riders actually hit a parked truck and he was hurt. And his mom didn't seem to be fazed, but from what I understand, it's something that goes on in that area a lot. And they did say that HPD would be reaching out to the family because I think the boy was only like 12 or 13 years old. So if you have keiki that are on e-bikes or dirt bikes, supervise them. The mom was not around. The mom had to be called to the scene of the collision. So lucky for him, because it was a big work truck, the truck was parked, but he did run into the back of it and sustained some injury. So, but your officers were great. They came out, responded in a timely manner. So thank you. And I think right now with school starting, this just again brings to light these e-bikes and dirt bikes.
Oh, yes.
So if Mr. Slater would like to come out to the area of Rose Street after school, maybe between 2 and 3 or 2:15 and 2:45 to just be a presence to see what's going on in our community, especially along Rose Street. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll invite him.
Fabulous.
Thank you. And actually, I'll come back to this. We'll come back to this with a couple more questions, but I'm going to go to the other areas. So any questions from the community? Yes, please come to the microphone, or you can use this one.
Just real quick, I see the kids on e-bikes doing wheelies everywhere. I mean, it's just rampant.
Thank you. Yes, it is an issue. And I think the legislature was trying to address it with laws first. So, but also with that, we did have an e-bike enforcement teams that went out and pulled these, normally it's young kids over, and either in evidence, I remember 2 e-bikes recovered and several citations issued, especially in the accidents. We normally issue citations for the accidents.
Okay, any other questions from the community? Any questions virtually for HPD? Okay, no hands. So before we close out, I do have a couple follow-up questions for you that I received from the community. The first one is with the recent very scary situation that happened out here where the family was surrounded and HPD came in and SWAT came in. That happened right across the street over here. We never hear anything since then. And so a few people have asked because they live right across the street in the apartments. And this happened right in the rental homes right there. So they said, so what is going on? Like, they're still a little worried that something may happen because whoever the gentleman was who was caught, he was caught with multitude of weapons and firearms and everything. And it was in that house, which is right across the park.
Yeah.
So the question is, what is happening? Is there any update on that we can relay to the community
I
that
think-
everything is safe and okay, or what is the latest?
Well, I think that's the one you're talking around. That's right behind the station on 4th Street.
Yes.
Yes, the suspect was taken into custody and our CID is working on the cases themselves. So, unfortunately, we cannot release details like what's going, because, normally in that type of felony cases, they don't want to release. It's between, we lose the case if we give out too much information. So.
Understood.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we will recover. So if there was any weapons and stuff, that would be recovered. If that was part of the crime, it got recovered. If it was illegally purchased or not having serial numbers, ghost guns or stuff like that, we will recover it.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll relay that at least to put them at ease that work is being continued or research.
Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't heard of too much other cases that coincided or developed from that.
Okay. And the second one, coincidentally, we just talked about it, but it's not necessarily e-bikes, but it's the dirt bikes. So I've received several emails or complaints of the kids are riding right up the street, whether it's California or Kilani, and they're doing wheelies actually. So several people have called because, they're riding and they pull up the bike and they're
The
actually
wheelies, yeah.
riding. Yeah, they're riding on just the back wheel, going up California Avenue and going up Kilani, and by the high school, they're going straight up. So there's a lot of concern from parents who are driving with their kids at that time. And so they asked, if that could be relayed to HPD, if there's a way to schedule some kind of check on driving up and down or who's driving. But seems like the kids who are doing that, it's after school because they're like high school kids and stuff. So if that helps with, if there's a way to.
So our time period is probably after school.
Yeah.
They'll probably stay up
early
during
evening,
school.
like,
If not, we got a twin series.
yeah. So it seems like it's after school and before dinner, if you will. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, we can direct our officers during those times.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, any other questions for HPD?
Your name?
Yes, go ahead.
Brian, the bars. Yes.
Thank
No problem.
Okay, we're good, everybody? Okay, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for being
you.
here. Okay, everyone, we're moving on to item section 3, our monthly reports, calling up Congresswoman Tokuda's office. Oh, hello. Yeah, you're going in and out a bit. Check. Can you hear us? Check one. No, we can't. Try again. Could you try again?
1 second.
Oh, there you, we just heard you. I think you're good. You can go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I want to apologize. We do, I'll send it forward. However, I did want to let you know that Rep. Tokuda, along with Senator Hirono, has reintroduced the bicameral legislation to strengthen the Social Security program, stating the Social Security is an earned benefit, not a handout. I promise that brings peace of mind following a lifetime of hard work. In Hawaii, nearly 100,000 workers and families depend on it to make ends meet. That's why I'm proud to reintroduce the Protecting and Preserving Social Security Act with Senator Hirono. Our bill strengthens benefits, accounts for the true cost of living, ends unjust practices, reclaiming final checks, and most importantly, makes the wealthiest finally pay for their fair share, securing this promise for generations to come. To the Security Administration Office of Chief Actuary, the Preserving Social Security Act would extend the ability for the program to pay scheduled benefits for an additional 11 years. So moving it from 2034 to 2045. Rep. Tokuda is proud to announce that her Military Service Academy nominations application process is now open for this year's cycle. All applicants have their applications complete
completed and all requested documents submitted by October 19th, 2025. So if you know any high school students that are interested or, looking for a way to get through college without having to pay, that might be an option for them. So please visit Rep. Tokuta's website and website for any further information that you might be interested. It's ureda.house.gov. And if you have any questions, unfortunately, I don't have any answers for the questions a week about Title II fund folks that should be answering those questions were out on staff bells traveling. So hopefully they'll be back and I can get you answers.
Okay, thank you. Hold on. Any questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Nicole. This is Erin Mendelson. Hi. Sorry, I accidentally pushed it. Okay. So about the Title II money, because I was the one who asked it. So it was the money, federal money that was to drop to Department of Education schools, and it was delayed, but from my understanding, it was received. So this was for things like professional development, after school care, YWCAs for their summer programs. Really, it was for next summer too. And from my understanding that all the money came down, but that if you could follow up on that too, that would be helpful, as you said.
Definitely, you can find out, if anything cut or whatnot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Congressman's office? Nope. Okay, hearing it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to our Army representative.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julia Gogol. I'm going to be taking over for Lexi as the Army representative from now on. Tomorrow, the U.S. Army Garrison is holding a job fair at the Hilamano Military Reservation Training Room beginning at 8:30 and it goes until 2. There's a bunch of different opportunities, golf, bowling, food services, and child youth services. For applications, you can go to www.himwr.com. U.S. Army Garrison published the training advisory for Oahu on August 1st. For the remainder of this week and continuing into next week, there will be artillery, mortar, and demolitions training, as well as night live fire exercises. If you'd like to be added to the training advisory list, the email is usag.hawaii.comrel@army.mil. On August 23rd at Fort Dorothy Beach Park, there will be a Wounded Warrior Canoe Regatta that will begin at 7:40 a.m. and will go until 4 p.m. And then the 25th Infantry Division will conduct the annual JPMRC training exercise between October and November 2025. Please be aware that there will be an increase in noise and traffic. I'll have more details in the coming months as it gets closer, but we're going to share as much as we can with the community. And if there are any concerns, we do have a new community concern line that is 808-787-1528. 808-787-1528. And that's the U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii number.
Okay, any questions from the board? Yes, go ahead, Sylvia.
Hello. Thank you for your service. I have a question regarding Wheeler Army Airfield. The palm trees lining when you go through the main gate, I guess it's the main gate, right off of Cam Highway.
That's on like the Lyman Road, or
I think
you said off Kamehameha?
I'm sorry, it's off of Kamehameha.
Yeah.
In my day, that was the main gate, but I guess the other one's the main gate now.
I don't know which one's the main gate.
Okay. Well, anyway, the palm trees on Wheeler, Do you know if any work has been done regarding the rhinoceros beetle? They're looking very sad.
I can find, oh,
They do look, yeah, half dead.
I teach at Wheeler Middle, and I have seen rhinoceros beetle traps on some of the trees outside the school, but I can't speak to the other area of the base that you mentioned. But I did see some on the base around the school.
Oh, okay, because I do know that, I know the city has done some work on our Royal Palm Avenue and the palms there, and they seem to be perking up a little bit, but I just wondered if the Army was doing anything. To trap them is one thing, you have to treat the trees. And it's usually every 6 months, there's something that gets injected into them. Can you look into that and
yes, I
let us
will.
know?
So
Because-
Wheeler has an individual like myself that I can reach out to that is more specific to Wheeler. I'm stationed on Schofield, but I will reach out and get you that answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Very good. Any other questions from the board? Yes, go ahead, Jude.
Since you're taking over permanently, you said, could actually both of us get your contact information
Yes.
afterwards
Yes.
or now, if up to you?
I'll be here the whole meeting. So if after is better, that works great for
Okay.
me.
Great.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, questions from the community? Okay, questions virtually? Okay, having said that, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Julia, and we'll talk to you at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 3 for the Navy.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and aloha to our board members and to our community. Hey, the Navy, in the past month here, Rear Admiral Stephen Barnett has turned over command of Navy Region Hawaii to Rear Admiral Brad Collins. So he is getting the lay of the land right now, and he's going out and meeting a lot of local and civic organizations here. But he'll be in charge of all of Navy Region Hawaii, though. So and he'll have that job for the next 3 years. I've brought in a couple issues of our weekly Mahalo as well. It outlines some of the big items that have taken place over this past week with the Navy. And to touch on base, Aaron, I talked to you about your dry dock question there. I got more information from her, and I think by next week we should be able to have a good response to your question. Pending that, though, is there any questions that I can help with at this time?
Any questions from the board? Any questions for the community, for the Navy? Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. June, go ahead.
Daniel, could I get your contact number again?
Of course. 240-264-9266.
264-9266.
At 240-264-9266.
Thank you.
You might want to text first, just so I know you're not trying to sell me an extended warranty on my car.
Okay, any other questions from the board? And, oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to, again, I said this at the last couple of meetings. Thank you. Dan and his son Toby, along with some other Navy representatives, were kind enough to join us for 9 weeks as we helped the Hawaii Food Bank with the Kaukau for Keiki program in our area. So thank you so much. There were days when it rained, and then there were days when it was scorching, and you guys are troopers with us, lifting 20-pound, sometimes 25-pound boxes. So we appreciate all that you folks did, and so many families wanted to extend their thank you to you folks as well. So we really appreciate you and hope you're here next year.
No doubt.
Thank you.
You're too sweet, TJ.
Can we give him a round of applause?
Oh, and just so you know, we fed anywhere between, probably between 450 and 500 keiki every week. And every single one of those keikis got a box, and the volunteers that came out had to lift each and every one of those boxes. So if anything, they got muscles. But thank you. 500 keiki at least every week. So thank you again.
Okay, any other questions for the Navy? From the community? And nothing, okay. You got off late today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work and support. Moving on to item, government agencies. Do we have Nicole here from Board of Water Supply? No, I don't see her too. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to our State Department of Transportation. Is Fawn here? I don't see Fawn either. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to item 4 of the agenda, residents' concerns and community announcements. Does anyone have any concerns you want to express or want us to look into? Or do you have any announcements of any upcoming event? Please state your name at the microphone above.
My name is Warren Guadarrama, and I volunteer from Lama Pono, with Wahiawa Christian Ministers Association. In the mornings, we observe the kids walking to school, and I noticed on the bottom of Circle Street, the cars going down there are going pretty fast, and they turn that corner where the kids are walking in the street, and I've almost been hit by a car a few times there. Circle Street and Rose Street also. They're going pretty fast sometimes up and down there with the kids. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Also, on another note, I did see HPD had a group of those kids with the off-road vehicles pulled over this weekend. I'm not sure what the outcome was, but they're out doing their job. And then we have a new store, a Vape King Express is called over in 925 California Avenue. I believe it's Suite A5. And a little bit concerned, they have cannabis paraphernalia visible from the window outside. And I was kind of thinking that that's not appropriate for the kids who are going to the stores right there. Vape King Express. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. We can relay, to HPD what's here earlier. We'll add your concerns to what was discussed earlier this evening. And regarding the California Avenue, I haven't seen that, but you said it's a new store. And that's in the shopping center. Okay. They may have a license to do that. I'm not sure, but we can always ask to find out to get more information on that. Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Community concerns or announcements?
Yes.
Hello, my name is Diego Rivera and I live in Whitmore Village. Apologies if I preempt the Farm Bureau's presentation on the state fair, but I've noticed that they've left a lot of large piles of like dirt and like woody debris and that kind of thing. And it's my understanding that that's good breeding grounds for CRB. So I was hoping we could get in touch with ADC and ask them to like disperse those piles so that way we can reduce the risk of CRB.
Thank you. And Diego, where is this exactly? These large,
Yeah, at the state fairgrounds that they just had. So
like where? Because they use that whole area, like.
Yeah, so they pushed all the dirt and all the like plants that were growing there to the sides of the parcel.
Okay.
So it's like all around the parcel, it's just large mounds of that stuff.
Okay. And Diego, before you leave today, can I talk to you afterwards?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Thank
great. Thank you. And just so you know, the reason I'm asking that is I don't see our, we were going to have that presentation tonight, discussion. I don't see, yeah, that, but hopefully yeah, I don't see anybody. So hopefully he'll be on here soon. Okay. Anyone else from the community? Hey, how's it? How are you? Talk about long time no see. Whoa.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chad Lugal, Whitmore resident, soon to be Wahiawa resident. Anyway, yeah. I know it's been a long time, right? I've been busy. Anyway, I have a couple of questions to ask. I know a while back I had wrote down on the concerns, and I gave it to TJ about the whole generator thing. You remember that? Okay. Well, she gave me the answer, which is fine. Okay, I got the answer on that. How long can they run the generator at night? That's what I want to know now.
Can I just ask, what is the generator being used for? Is it like a
Who
safety?
knows? He runs that thing all day long.
And I'm sorry, Chad, could you please bring Jeannie and everyone else here, I mean, Chair Ishikawa and the rest of us here up to speed on what we're talking about? This was a while ago.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry
a
to
while
see
ago.
that it's still happening, but if you could share with everyone what your concern was.
Well, okay, so it all goes on back to, I had asked, what does a generator constitute as? Is it construction equipment or, whatever? Because if it is construction equipment, it should be, if I'm not mistaken, I thought there were rules about when you can run it and how long you can run it till. But the answer I got was it's not considered construction equipment, so they can run it till probably 10 o'clock at night. I think that's the noise ordinance, right? Well, there are times where he does run it past 10 o'clock. And, for old people like me who like to go to sleep at 9, it's really irritating. You hear this generator running, and I feel sorry for the other neighbor across on the other side because I think her bedroom is closer to that where the generator is located.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Chad, but this generator is in a residential property? Like
Yes.
So it's in a neighborhood? So
Yes.
it's not like a business thing? It's. No. Okay. And this has been going on for,
Oh, this thing has been going on for months now.
but do you know, I'm just curious, what is he running? Is it equipment? Is it a refrigerator? What is he running?
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay, so your
Yeah.
question is if we could find out more or what
Like,
the,
how long can it be running
Okay.
for? Like, if it runs past 10 o'clock, or is it 9 o'clock that the thing gotta get shut off?
okay. Okay, then come see us, talk to us.
Yeah,
after.
Chad, why don't you come and refresh our memory with the address again? Because I know that we did provide some in-depth information to you, but man, that was a while ago. I'm sorry to hear that it's still ongoing there. So we appreciate you bringing it to the board though, so we can follow up.
Yeah, so at the end, we'll get the address and all that. Go ahead, Ethan.
I haven't heard the noise the generator makes, but I would assume if it's loud enough, it could be a noise complaint. Have you ever called?
No, I haven't called yet.
Okay.
Because like I said, noise ordinance, you can make noise until 10 o'clock, right? After 10, that's my discretion to call or not. Friday nights, I think this past Friday night, he had it running to almost midnight. Almost every week, Saturdays, Fridays, Saturdays. I work 6 days a week. I get up at 4 in the morning.
And you haven't called yet?
I haven't called yet because I'm like, I can deal with it for now. I'm this close to doing something very illegal, but I'm not going to.
I wouldn't condone that.
You didn't hear that?
I would suggest calling HPD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
HPD
I
might
do
be a
have
good option.
another one. This is, like I said, I haven't been here for a while. I keep forgetting to come on the third Monday, so I haven't been able to ask this. And unfortunately, the Board of Water Supply lady is not here, so it concerns the construction of that water line on Upper Wahiawa, Ames, Royal Palm, Glen. Okay, I have a house on Ames. While they were doing work by the house, all the construction equipment, they parked it along the easement fronting my property. They also dug out the water hydrant, the fire hydrant, and they relocated it. When they dug out the fire hydrant, they dug out the concrete base that goes on it, and a lot of the rubbish was left. The concrete. There was most of it was taken out, but there was a lot of big chunks left over. And when I went to go, when I go to cut grass and stuff, man, that thing just destroyed my lawnmower. And then the other one was, they also destroyed my grass, you know. So instead of grass, I got dirt.
Okay, I can definitely send a message to our BWS representative.
You know, I mean, it's been months already. I've taken care of it, but as they're working their way down,
Yeah.
you know.
But your area is power ready.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the concrete is. and-
There's still plates on Ames, but my house is higher up, more toward Peterson's.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, they destroyed my grass.
Okay.
So I have
Yeah.
dirt now.
So we'll let the BWS to get in contact, send someone to check.
And that was basically it.
Okay,
Chad, are you right on the bend?
Yeah.
Okay, I know where, yeah, I know where you're talking about.
That's our new house now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the chair will follow up with our Board of Water Supply and hopefully we can get you some help and some information at least. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
thanks, Chad. Good to see you. Don't forget, third Monday. Okay, and we had one, I'm sorry, yes.
Hello, everybody. Tom Lenchenko, resident of Whitmore. I just wanted to follow up if the Farm Bureau wasn't going to be out for their presentation tonight. Did the Neighborhood Commission and the chairperson receive my email regarding the commercial lien on the property at Whitmore, where the Farm Bureau put out on the land there? That land is 52 acres, 30 of it is Crown land. So I was trying to understand the workings of how the Crown lands is being used, or if the Farm Bureau is leasing the property for whatever the duration, and they only use it 2 days of the year, are we sure that it cannot be sublet to anybody else to be used?
Okay.
If you can help me with that information, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that, Mr. Lachenko. Nice to see you too. I'm hoping he'll be here, but I still don't, I hope he's okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Hi,
Chair.
Cardenas. Yes, go ahead. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, stand by for one. Thank you. And Cardenas Pinter?
Valina o Cardenas Pintor ko Oinoa no Kapala Mamaivo. Aloha, my name is Cardenas Pintor, or Cards for short. Very happy to be here in the Wahiawa Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board. Mahalo for having us. I'm here because currently Kalihi Palama Neighborhood Board is currently on recess and we will return next month. And we wanted to explore other neighborhood boards. What do they do differently? And how can we find connection and work together? So we are very excited to work together with Wahiawa Whitmore, if that is a possibility. And I would like to have my chair speak now because my chair is here. She would want to say a few words. Mahalo.
Thank you. Go ahead, Amanda.
Aloha, good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair and esteemed board members. I've been involved with Wahiawa community for decades. I've always supported Keep the Country Defend Hawaii Coalition and the preservation of coastlines for cultural practicing and heritage. Anything you folks need, please let me know. Please let our board know. I was in full support and I gave testimony at the Capitol so that clean water can be preserved for future generations and no dumpster or dump sites is to be put above any aquifer in the community or any community. So I wanted to lend my full support to the Wahiawa and Greater North Shore community for anything that you folks may need.
Aloha and thank you, Chair. It's nice to meet you virtually, and we appreciate your support and guidance when we come to that, come to those issues. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us?
No, I'll just be watching. I have been watching. I just have never mentioned anything for quite
Okay.
some time, for maybe 15 years, but I've always been around. I've always been listening and I've always been watching. But I have been in full support to preserve North Shore and its natural pristine environment.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, we agree on those issues. Thank you so much. So you're gonna hang around for a bit while we finish up our meeting, go through our meeting?
Yes, I'll be hanging around.
All right, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Mahalo.
Same here. I'll be staying here until the power of meeting.
Okay. All right, Cardenas, thank you. Any other residents concerned? Yes, please come.
Aloha, I'm Pony Askew, speaking on my own personal behalf. My grandmother is on Walker Avenue. Most of you are familiar. It's the street that leads to the river. Adjacent to that street is Avocado, where we have seen a lot of activity taking place on that property that seems to be abandoned. And I have first of all, concerns because my grandmother is on that street adjacent to it, but also it's the street where other kupuna live in the kupuna housing. And just driving up today to come here, I noticed there's more fencing up. They have water up. I think I see a food truck in the parking lot now. I did see Senator Dela Cruz share that there's testimony being accepted in regards to demolition of what's on that property. But I'd like to urge the state to start looking at condemnation of that land and taking away from whoever the landowner is who has failed to meet their responsibilities for a very long time. So that's my first statement. Secondly, I just would like to put a call out to the city and county in regards to our transit center and the care that's being taken care of our transit center. Lights haven't been working there. I think the clock is broken, and just kind of doing community walkthroughs. It's fairly dirty and just could use some attention in that area. And so I'd like to call on the transit center to get a little attention and love over there as well. Mahalo.
Thank you, Pony. Nice to see you too. I'll just give you a quick update. I do know that we have been in contact with DTS regarding the clock. So there, so that is being worked on, as well as the lights. As far as the property that's along Avocado, I'm hoping that Steve is online on this because he's really been from the mayor's office to help us get things moving on that property. It's been a long process from being told there are 5 property owners, there are 4 property owners, and et cetera, et cetera. And there was a cleanup, but everything, all the trash is back. The fencing went up last week. I'm not sure where that came from, but the fencing did come up last week. And there is a vehicle behind that fencing. And so again, I'm hoping we can get an update from the mayor's office tonight from the report. But otherwise, we'll keep in touch with you because I know that you're not just your grandparents, grandmother, but there are others elderly in that area. Plus, you have the senior housing right there as well. So there are concerns, general concerns that should be attracted to. And yes, Councilmember, do you want to jump in? You can, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You can jump in.
Mahalo. Yeah, just to reference, so the testimony is being taken right now for ILA, International Legal Affairs Committee, for the city to go in and demo the property. That info is on our newsletter on the second page in the middle. So we did meet with DLNR and DPP a few months ago, because I know that long-term goal is for the state to acquire that for supporting the freshwater park, right? And so the city was ready or is able to maybe go in and condemn it. I think I mentioned before, if the board would like the city to take it over in the interim and then work with the state, we could do that. But in terms of what's available right now, given that he hasn't been moving forward, Mayor has been gracious to okay going forward with just demoing the entire property and charging the owner. And so I definitely would ask folks to testify on that if you're still inclined. So it's actually an action item. It's going to be in our executive affairs or executive session. And so if you go onto the honolulucouncil.org website, click on submit testimony, Then the first drop-down item is going to be selecting the committee it's in. So you would select International Legal Affairs, that's ILA. And then there's going to be a second drop-down box that lets you select an item. And you'll go down and look for the demolition of 525 Avocado Street.
And what is the deadline for submitting?
So I would do it tonight when you get home. But then the committee is actually going to be on, let's see, let me make sure I get the date right. Wednesday, so this Wednesday at 1 p.m. And so you can technically submit testimony all the way up until then, but the sooner you get it in, the more likely we'll be able to see it, and then it'll show up when folks read it for the hearing.
Thank you very much for that update. So does that help you, Pony? So we can all start writing and submitting testimony. Okay. Any other questions right now for residents' concerns?
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I would actually like to make a request that we ask for OHA, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, if we could have a representative from OHA attend our meetings on a regular basis, maybe every other month, once a quarter, but every month would be beautiful. If we could have OHA come and share their information about what's going on in our community, because OHA does have quite a big piece of property out near Kukani Loco and the surrounding area. So I think it would be really informational and good for us as a community to know what OHA's plans are as they start to move forward with that area.
Okay, we can put that on next month's agenda, or wait, next month is a full, either next month or either next month or the following month. Because next month, yeah, okay. We'll move along. Okay. Yep.
Aloha, Board Chair. Rin Lenchenko, Whitmore resident. I just have a question about the Kaikani Park fence and Whitmore Village sign. If there's an update on the repairs.
Okay, hold on.
There was an accident, Kaikani Park, Whitmore Village on Whitmore Ave. So the Whitmore Village sign and the fence was demolished. So I just wanted to know if there's an update on repairs.
Okay, we'll follow up on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. Before you leave, give me a contact. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for community concerns or announcements? And nothing. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to our presentations. And just as we always do, we make this announcement. The rules of decorum, all participants at this meeting shall extend the spirit of aloha to one another. There shall be no displays of disrespect to one another. Public comments can be made within the stated time limits and without interruption unless the comments are offensive and or out of order and are not conducive to civil discourse. Our first presentation tonight is the Wahiawa Center for Workforce Excellence Project Discussion and Presentation. Title of the presentation is Demolition of Existing Library and Storefront Portable Buildings. Build a new 40K/3-story office building with an adjacent 86-stall parking garage. The new building will be the new home of the Wahiawa Library on level 1, the DOE LMW staff on level 2, and UH Community College classrooms and labs on level 3. And here we go.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair, Board, and committee members. The chair already gave my presentation, so I guess I'm done. No, all good. So I'm very excited to be here tonight to present to you all about this project that we're going. My name is Eric Nakamura. I'm the project manager working on the basically general contractor working on the construction out there for the library facility, Wahiawa Center for Workforce Excellence facility, actually. If you go to the next slide. So brief agenda. I have 7 items, but I'll try to go through this fast. I know we're restricted by time here. We'll look over just general highlights. I know everyone wants to look at the exterior, so we'll talk a little about the exterior and how that came to be. We'll dive into the Wahiawa Library on the first floor, the Department of Education on the second floor, and then the University of Hawaii Community College on the third floor. We'll talk about the current status and the overall schedule, and then we'll close by talking about community engagement, what our plans are moving forward there. So next slide, please. So just generally highlights, and Madam Chair did a great job presenting it already, but Three-story building. Building is overall is roughly 43,000 gross square feet. The Wahiawa Public Library is on the first floor. The landowners are actually the public library. So the library does own the property itself. Department of Education on the second floor, and the University of Hawaii classroom and lab spaces. I say that the library owns the property just because our contract is actually through the Department of Education. So the Department of Education is actually facilitating the contract for this project. So a little bit of unique setup where the landowner is the library, but our contract facilitator is the Department of Education. 86 stall adjacent parking garage right next to the building. We started construction in early June, and we anticipate completing in April of 2027. Generally speaking, it's a unique facility just because you have efficiency with 3 different state entities in one roof, right? So very, very interesting project for us. We essentially have 3 owners to deal with, so very fun times with that one. So next slide, please. So this is a real quick fly through. I think you gotta hit play. There you go. Of the job. I'll try to narrate as best as I can. You're coming down Lehua, looking at the garage on the left, building on the right. You do see a 3-story structure there with an exterior facade. We do have a metal screen component on the corner there. As you can see in the off to the right, you do see the Civic Center. We're essentially matching the Civic Center's CMU exterior. So the same type of block on the lower level and the upper level. So it essentially looks one the same. As you come in, this would be the main entrance to the library facility on the ground floor. So as you enter, you'll first notice a vaulted ceiling. So high ceiling, 2-story space there. You can see the bookshelves there. It's a quite extensive amount of stacks, book stacks, all new stacks. They'll all be on casters, so the library has a ability to move them around. Very flexible and functional in that regard. As you go through the library, you do see computer stations there. We fly around, you see a unique reception desk. It's the first one I believe that the library is doing. Again, flexible, it's on wheels, it can move around, very flexible and functional in that respect. The center is where the children's area is. So children's books, fun tables, nooks, places where you can read. As you fly around through there, those doors lead to the programming room, someplace where I know residents can reserve for their own functions, or it's very flexible in that nature. As you go out, again, 2-story space up there. You're walking from the garage into the library here. You see a patio here, so an overhang. That's a covered patio, a nice breezeway area where it connects to the library itself. So there's a unique component there where you can go outside, read a book, and leads to the programming room. Like I said, the programming room is all flexible. Those tables are nested flip-top tables, so they can nest and go into a storage room if needed. This is coming from the garage on the second floor. We're walking over a bridge into the second floor space for the Department of Education. So this is going to be where staff are going to be all together in one facility now versus spread out. So over here, you can kind of see where I was talking about the 2-story vaulted space where you can actually look into the library from the second floor. Unique viewpoints for the second floor space there. Around 30 workstations in the center. So 30 open offices, what we call them, with private offices on the exterior. This is really the heart of the second floor. We're not going to have any students on the second floor. It's mainly just staff and admin to help facilitate the various schools around the districts here. This new the complex area superintendent, Ernest Mu office, will be here, as well as his team. So they'll have new offices here. This area is technically not open to the public, but if you check in and you go through the proper process and you have a reason to be there, then obviously you can get in there. Garage same thing, you can go down to the second floor, or you can go up to the third floor now. And this is University of Hawaii Community College. The community college will host classes and labs. So this is, again, a secure check-in area where you go through a secure area and you go through this corridor that we're about to go through. University of Hawaii Community College has a very unique program for this space. Where we're entering now is what they call the cyber technology room. Basically, they're gonna help us prevent hackers and try to get smarter than hackers there and make sure we're on top of that. This is another lab space. This is where we're really looking at workforce development, where we have simulations and different, it's called a mechatronics room, so that you can have different functions and features for the workforce that the University of Hawaii Community College is trying to train up. You have welding machines that, are virtual in nature. You have 3D printers, et cetera. Very unique space for the third floor. The rest of this space, we do have some offices, limited offices, maybe 2 or 3, actually 2. And then some conference room space for University of Hawaii Community College here. We do end the tour with a little bit of a lounge look, student lounge look. So students, instead of just staying in the library level, they can have a place on the third floor to just relax, hang out, study before their classes on the third floor. So overall, if you think about it, we have a library level on the ground floor, which is what we like to start your education. Second floor, Department of Education, which is K through 12, and then University of Hawaii on the third floor. So uniquely enough, it kind of works out in that kind of manner of just the spirit of education throughout the different floors. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk about the exterior real quick. Next slide. Okay, so again, I talked about the adjacent Civic Center. The construction is going on right now. You can see it as you go by California. We're really utilizing the same type of block features like shown in this picture here. So we have that dark split face concrete block on the bottom with a ground face block on the top that's essentially trying to match the shades of the adjacent building. So ultimately, the idea here is it kind of complements each other, but at the same time, each building has their unique look and unique perspective on what they're trying to do, right? It's not the same function, different functions from the Civic Center to Wahiawa Center for Workforce Excellence. Next slide, please. Okay, so when we're looking at the screen, right, we did a little research. We got this back from the community. Really wanted to be a source of pride, rooting this place, and it feels like home. Next slide, please. So what we ended up doing through the Department of Education, we put out a survey, and just because we were contracted by the Department of Education, it was very easy to facilitate this survey through the Department of Education schools. We asked a survey of the students to ask their parents, their grandparents, their kupuna on what's like to be in Wahiawa, right? What does Wahiawa mean to you? So we got different types of feedback back, whether it be sound, sunrise, waves, flows, rain, pineapples, right? Water, streams, all these kind of very, very kind of impactful memories that the students have the parents and the grandparents of the students have that they brought back to us. We took this information, next slide, please. And we essentially came up with a screen that tried to invoke sight, sound, and movement. All the elements of what we talked about in the previous slides. You have, it's kind of hard to see because people are far away, but we have elements of rain, elements of pineapple, different types of flora and fauna that exist in this area. So really want to complement what it was to be Wahiawa in our screen here, screen design. It was vetted through our open house, and we ended up through community feedback picking the design that was most representative and what community members felt spoke to them the most. We ended up on this screen design here. Next slide, please. And that's just the overall, like I led with that picture, that rendering of what it looks like in that corner. So very prominent entrance, right, of this is the corner of Lehua and California. really setting the tone for that new civic block that's going to go on there in that area. Next slide, please. So real quick on interiors. Next slide, please. Okay, so I mentioned a few of these highlights, but I'll bring it up again. 15,000 square foot overall library facility. We do have vaulted ceiling spaces, a lot of books, right? A lot of books on casters and very flexible and functional. We do have a dedicated area room for the Friends of Library now. We have a children's area, furniture for fun reading areas and unique different places where people can read to each other, read books to their keiki, etc. So we really like that center area. Definitely looked at our acoustic properties to make sure that, we weren't talking over each other. It's very acoustical. It's a library after all. We do have that outdoor patio that I talked about. Nice place where it's an indoor-outdoor feel. Public meeting rooms, and then we have flex spaces. The last bullet point there is we have a dedicated library entrance, right? So what I mean by that is, how does the second floor and third floor occupants affect the library? It really shouldn't, because the second floor and third floor have their own entrances that's separate from the library. So you will never cross paths in the building because they have their own separate entrances. So in the blue is their own stairwells and elevators to get to the second and third floor, which essentially all the library patrons don't need to really worry about because they'll just go right into the library, first floor. Next slide, please. So just showing back pictures. This is a 2-story vaulted space as you enter. Next slide, please. Children's area, like I talked to, little nook there, and fun different areas where we can read to our keiki and play around. And we really want it to be fun and not just a place where you read, right? We wanted to make it fun. People want to go there, bring their kids over there and have a lot of fun in the library. Next slide, please. Indoor outdoor feel with the glass and the patio. Read a book out there. Take lunch, whatever. Be outside the space. Really flexible in that nature. The soffit up above is actually the ground floor for the third floor. So the third floor actually overhangs it. So it creates this nice shaded area away from the sun, away from the rain that we know all exists out here in Wahiawa. Next slide, please. Okay, so real quick on Department of Education, you see the square foot numbers there, around 11,000 square foot. It's really going to consolidate various offices into one location, right? And they'll support 20 Central Oahu schools. So very much needed facility for the Department of Education. We'll have some flex meeting rooms, and every floor will have direct access from the parking garage as well. So you don't have to come from the first floor. You can come from the parking garage straight to the floor you want to go to. Next slide, please. University of Hawaii Community College, like I talked about, very unique programs offered in this facility, cybersecurity, as well as 3D printing, virtual welding training, everything that our workforce really wants to train on and be a part of. So really interesting that University of Hawaii chose this type of facility on this floor. Next slide, please. All right, so current status and schedule. As you guys know, you probably see the library not there anymore and our fence. So we started on June 3rd. We demoed the library. We demoed the existing storefront portables. We are really, we passed through July. So, and now we're in August. Right now we're in foundations. So we have holes dug. We're getting ready to form our foundations to start the foundations pour. We're looking at erecting steel in January. So really come next year, January, you'll start to see a structure. Up until that point, you probably won't see much, but just like that, you'll see structure being built up and you actually look like a building. So that's the plan for January. And then the typical interior finishes through the month of, through 2026. And then we hope to be complete by April of 2027. Next slide, please. So maybe it's hard to see some of the pictures, but top left was when we started the demolition of the storefront portables. And then And then on that note, happy that the community members got involved. We were able to save 13 cats in that area. So before we started demolition, there was a lot of cats in that area. So we were able to save them, get the Humane Society involved before we started that demolition with the help of some community members. And then we looked to demolish the library in the upper right-hand corner. And then bottom left, we basically see a cleared site. And then bottom right is when we had our blessing, our groundbreaking and blessing at the end of last month. Okay, so community engagement going forward, right? So I'm careful what to say here, but early planning and feedback. So we do understand that back in 2022, there was a share out at the Wahiawa Middle School. That was a few years back now. Since then, understand it's been a little silent, but starting last year, when we were actually brought onto the contract, we started getting more involved. And this is where I talked about the open house that we had with the feedback received through Department of Education on the exterior. And then, again, I think I said it before, but I'm committed to make sure that we have the updates periodically every month. So I'll be here if there's any construction updates that might affect the community in any way, or if there's any community concerns, I'll be here to listen to them every month. So that's my commitment moving forward to the end of the project. So I have a little dot that's checked, and then a circle that's yet to be checked because obviously we just started, so we'll get going as we move forward there. The last part is a construction fence. So if you notice right now, our fence is painted green around the perimeter, and we're likely to we want to incorporate some artwork from the community. We're getting this from, again, through the Department of Education, through the schools. They're going to provide us with boards that we can put on top of our existing fence. It's not going to be every panel. It's going to be sporadic throughout the perimeter of California, Lehua mostly. But we'll try to incorporate that as we move forward. And I do believe I might have to present that to the board at some point. So, but yeah, so that's on the slate. I think I'm done. Go next slide, please. Question. So for questions, I did ask Janine Arasaki, Department of Education, basically our leader, to be here in case there's any questions for Department of Education, as well as Stacy Kaneshige, kind of operations manager for the Hawaii State Public Library System. If there's any questions for them. I unfortunately did not we don't have any representative from University of Hawaii Community College here, but if there's any questions, maybe now would be the time for any one of us.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. It was a great presentation, very detailed, so we appreciate that. Just for laughs, I have one comment.
Okay.
Just for laughs.
Okay.
All the characters are tall. Did you notice that?
Well,
all the characters in there, all the people standing around, they were tall.
Could be, yeah, sure. Sure.
Just
sure.
for jokes. Anyway,
Okay.
okay, go ahead. And I think there is go ahead. Is that Michelle? Oh, no, that's Yvonne.
And if I don't have the answer, I'll bring it back next month.
Okay, real quickly, free parking will still be on Center Street?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
still gonna,
Yep.
you're not gonna touch that?
Yep.
Okay, just one other question. The community college that's going to be on the third floor, is that a new school that's going to be developed, or is that part of Leeward, Windward, Kapiolani?
It's part of Leeward, yeah.
It's part of
yep.
Leeward, okay.
Yep.
And is that going to be related in any way to ADP that's over here? Not ADP, the
Um,
Great Value?
I think it's gonna be different programs. It's related, same facility, same school, but different programs offered.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and Yvonne?
Oh, okay. Mahalo, Eric, for
Yeah.
the presentation. So had a question about your folks' energy efficiency
Okay.
features. and
Yes.
If you could speak to that and like what kind of features you're.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So we're going for LEED Gold, which has a lot of energy efficiency built into the building. We have our roof is littered with PV panels. We have high efficiency lights, and basically there's new electrical codes in place now where essentially forces you to be energy efficient on the power side of things. So we're implementing those into our project. We're also water efficiency as well with low flow fixtures. Ultimately, there's a big list of lead items that we're trying to hit to make sure that we are efficient on both energy and water usage.
Kate, Michelle?
Hi,
Michelle.
presentation.
Thank you.
I wanted to find out, is the library sign the one right on the corner? I'm looking at one of the pictures.
Sure.
and-
Yeah. The corner of Lehua and California.
Yes.
How big is it?
Well, does that say State Library?
It's probably gonna say Wahiawa Public Library.
Okay. The other thing I'm concerned about, there's so much, I look at the building going up now, the Civic
Yes,
Center.
yes.
It already looks dirty. And
Sure.
your building is one more story higher with more of that just blank block look. So I'm very concerned on how it's going to look in 2-3 years.
Sure. I will say that even next door, they will still go through a final clean. We're not a part of that project, obviously, but we do know working with the same tile vendor, same tile, right? They'll still have to do a cleaning of that. We'll do the same, but we have plans in place to just make sure that as soon as the block is done, we coat it with a sealer, a paint sealer, so that it's easy to clean after the fact. And the next door did the same. So although it looks dirty now, hopefully when they turn it over, it'll be much cleaner than what it looks like now. And it will be. It will. I know it will be.
I'm sure of that, but I don't know if this is part of your Kuleana, but being it gets dirty so easily, I'm still concerned of the maintenance.
Sure.
Seriously, look around at state and city buildings. They're not always kept up the way they should be. So with this design, I'm concerned on how that's going to look in a couple of years. Also, with this screening, what is the screening made out of, and what's the plans on how to keep that clean?
Sure. So we strategically located hose bibs across the ground floor as well as the roof area so that we could easily get a power washer and wash down the building. So that was built into the design. The material that you referenced is aluminum. So, we're very cautious of the rusting and making sure that that stays nice and beautiful for a very long time. So it's limited steel, just mostly aluminum material. But you're right. If it doesn't get maintained, it doesn't get cleaned, then obviously you will have issues. So you're absolutely right on that. The maintenance will be run through DAGs. So DAGs will take care of maintenance, similar with the adjacent structure, adjacent building, Civic Center. And I'm certain they have a plan to maintain both buildings. I'm just not a part of those conversations.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
First of all, DAG sucks. They won't maintain it very well. Got a question for you. Where in this is the public rooms?
It's closer to the patio, the outdoor patio on the right. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thanks. The other question is, why is this person over here drinking coffee in the library?
No, yeah. I think it's water. It's water. Yeah, it's water.
Split face, concrete face?
So split face on the ground floor, the ground level, the darker, and then it's going to be ground face up above.
Okay. So it will be sealed though, right?
It will be sealed. Correct.
Okay, 'cause
Correct.
That's porous and,
Yep.
and it rains a lot. Thanks.
Yvonne?
Sorry, follow-up question as well.
Of course.
So I noticed that you didn't share anything about having solar panels on the building, but is that?
Yeah, so I mentioned, but the roof does have PV solar panels on the entire roof.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I didn't mention that in the slide. You're right.
No, thank you. And then specifically with the DOE consolidation of all of these departments. So on that slide, it says administration will support 20 Central Oahu schools. So I'm assuming that a lot of the facilities and the offices that were in like Lelepo, Mililani, Wailua, they'll now be put together in this facility. My concern is about traffic and
Sure.
the high emphasis on cars and like vehicle transit
Sure.
in our community.
Sure. Understood. I mean, I think that's we all understand traffic is an issue. This traffic study was done. We're abiding by the traffic study that was provided to us. I guess I don't know if I didn't comment on the other than that. We understand that it's going to bring a lot of people into that one area. That's for sure. Okay. Sure.
Okay, and Efren?
Could you elaborate more on the fence painting that the schools are going to participate in? I think you briefly mentioned.
Yeah, so if you look at the Civic Center next door, you do see painted plywood panels. We want to try to do something similar to that, get the community involved with that through the schools. So that's a work in progress of trying to get that to happen. So we'll provide the fence material, drop it off at the schools, pick it up, and then install it on our fence.
I bring it up because Wheeler Middle School and I think Wheeler Elementary, Solomon, and Daniel K. Nuyed weren't able to participate in creating any of those paintings for
next door.
So it'd be nice if they could engage, the kids could engage with that.
Okay, we can definitely bring that back and see what we can do on that one.
Is there a contact that I can reach out to about that?
I'll reach out.
Thank you.
I can report next month.
No, Joe had a question.
Yeah, so the facility be under management by Department of Education or who?
No, so the landlord will be the landowner, which will be the library. So the Department of Education and University of Hawaii will actually be tenants. They'll act as tenants in the building. So the landowner would still be the library.
And where did the storefront school move to?
Shoot. I don't. It's where Janine. You know where that is? It's sorry. I don't know the exact address. I know it was. It's temporarily located by the gas station over down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then the plans are to rebuild the permanent one there as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know the
And
exact address.
For clarification, are you referring to the value added project? Building?
No,
When you
the temporary storefront school and then the new storefront school that's being built. I don't know the exact address, but I know it's just right down the street here.
Okay, I thought you meant, okay, thank you. Okay, and go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, Eric, thank you. So my office is potentially an office in the Department of Education that would go into that building. So we meet quite a bit to talk about, potentially where the clerks would sit, where just each person would be located. Just two quick questions. Is the video that you showed available to show? Is that something that you only have access to, or is that publicly available on a website?
It's not publicly available. We can work with Department of Education to provide that with to you.
Okay, so I can ask someone to ask you. Okay, fantastic. And then the second thing is that parking lot, I guess maybe not, is it have like a fob, or how are people going to get into that private parking lot? And is it reserved stalls?
Yes. So right now the ground floor is slated for reserved really for the library use only. So ground floor is strictly for the library use through a key card or through fob, through a gate system. Second floor and third floor, it will be for the other tenants.
Okay, and Sylvia?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
The furniture for the inside, is that already bought and everything? Or are the people that are moving into the various floors, do they have an option of changing that and making it more tailored to them?
So we've been working with every end user on the furniture. So we've been talking to the library, we've been talking to the Department of Education and the UH community colleges to make sure that they get the furniture they want.
Okay, good. And just lastly, can you please include the neighborhood board in any upcoming ceremonies or anything? I don't know, maybe I didn't get the email, but we weren't invited to the groundbreaking.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you were? Oh, okay. Oh, because you were with the library?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you could do
Okay.
that.
We'll take that back. Yep.
TJ?
Hi, Eric.
Hey,
Thank
Jay.
you. Thank you for everything. Couple questions.
Okay.
So the parking garage entrance
Yes.
will be where? On
It's
Lakewood,
through
California?
Center Street.
On
Through
Center
Yep.
Street. And the exit will be on Center Street
Correct.
as well?
Enter and exit through the same area. Yep.
Okay. And then you said for the public library, parking stalls on the bottom floor will be allowed for patrons?
Yes.
Do we know how many stalls that is?
I think it's 22, if my memory holds right, 22 stalls.
And will there be a fee for that or?
No, the library has no intention of charging.
Okay, will there be security on site?
There will be, yes.
Okay,
Securities will be on
perfect.
site.
Thank you. And then you said that each individual floor, parking stalls will be allocated for them as well?
Mhm.
Okay, and then could you go into a little bit more detail about the sealant that will be applied on the building materials once it's done before it gets turned over to DAGs?
You're talking about the CMU sealer.
Yes.
So I don't have the exact product name offhand. I can get back to you
No,
with that.
just
but-
in general, how does it work?
Yeah,
that,
so
you know?
so as soon as essentially as soon as we're done with, because what we're putting up is a finished product essentially. Split face and ground face is a finished product. So as soon as it's installed and it's all grouted, we need to apply a clear sealer. Essentially as soon as we can afterwards. That'll help with the cleaning, prevent water infiltration, like Joe mentioned. So that is the process of what we're gonna do there.
Okay, great. And then my last question, actually always the hardest,
Okay.
but could you speak to the type of plants and trees and shrubbery and things like that that will be used on the site? Because we do have a lot of plants like you saw in your survey
Sure,
that
sure.
belong in Wahiawa.
Sure. I unfortunately don't know that on top of my head. But what I'll do is I'll bring that information back with a detailed planting list next meeting.
Thank you so much. Great job. I mean, we see you guys working hard out there and I hope
Thank you,
you can beat the Wahiawa rain as we get toward the rainy season.
Appreciate it.
So,
Appreciate it.
thank you, Eric.
Okay, and Joe, you had your hand up, and then Joe? No? Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle then.
How close is the building to the street?
So the building to the sidewalk on California is around 15 feet from the building to the sidewalk, on California. And I want to say it's a little bit more from on Lehua, same distance. But we're close. We're fairly close. I think that was intentional to ensure that we maximize the footprint and we got as much building as we could on that site.
Yeah, I asked that because your picture shows a couple trees, but if you're talking 15 feet, that's not much room for trees.
Yeah, I mean it's sized appropriately, I should say. We don't have, our landscaping is not extensive. We have limited landscaping on the project. It's mostly building, to be honest with you. But where we do have areas, we're trying to maximize those areas as much as we can. So what you see in those renderings is accurate to what our plan would be for trees. Keep in mind, some of those trees are existing on the sidewalks now. So some of those trees you see are part of the existing landscape that's there now.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to ask one and then we're going to open up. Okay, go. Oh,
I'm sorry, Eric.
Yeah, TJ.
Will you folks have food vendors in that building or in that area? Will there be allocated spaces like a coffee bar or something?
Sure, I don't think that's the current plans right now to have any food vendors in that facility.
Thank you.
I agree. I don't think you should have food by the library. I agree on that. But I just have two quick questions and we'll go to the community. But on this rendering,
Yep.
I'm just wondering where, or can I assume that there will be a bus stop on California Avenue?
Yeah, so that we don't have any intention of moving that bus stop.
Okay.
That's existing right there. That's
And
all.
then on
done.
Center Street around the corner, where would be the ADA access? Because I see the ramp, but where can they pull over? Because will there be markings here that?
So
they-
we don't plan on eliminating any of the street parking along Lehua either. So there'll still be places where people can pull over. If you see we do have the book drop kind of located right on that
Yes.
side Lehua.
Yeah.
So the idea would be someone could pull off to the side, drop off their books and leave instead of actually going into the library if they want to just drop off a book.
Okay. Okay. So parking will be sustained in that area. then,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Okay. And then as far as events, are you guys planning, or do you think you're going to have any kind of special events at the library that will, and if you do, then what will happen as far as parking for the guests? Because I know that when they have programs, they do get an influx of people. So where would people park? Would they go, if it's on a Saturday, will it be
Sure.
open?
Sure. Honestly, I don't have that specific information. I do know that the tenants will work with the library or I should say the library will work with the tenants to accommodate use depending on function. I see Stacy coming over here, so maybe she'll have a better answer than me.
Thank you, Stacy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stacy Kaneshige. I'm with the Hawaii State Public Library System. So in our location, we had about 18 stalls, and then people would kind of park on the street. This parking structure, potentially, if we can coordinate between the different agencies, because we all use them at different times, we're hoping that we can build a partnership with all three levels so that if there is something that's happening on any of the levels, we can all cooperate with each other, potentially giving a little bit more parking than what we had in the previous spot. But we always want to enter into the partnership with that knowledge that we're all sharing space. And so how do we work cooperatively so we can leverage that space to the maximum for all the public? Because we don't want anybody frustrated as well. We want everybody to come and have a good time, enjoy the space, and then, go back into the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that because there are some really good programs that happen on the weekends and I've stopped in and they have a good crowd. So it's good to know. Thank you very much for that. And, I'm sorry, Joe, now you have a question.
Stacy, now that you came up here, I'm going to ask you the temporary location signage.
Yes, we are working on that. Oops, sorry.
Take it easy.
We're working on that with the property manager to get the sign on the marquee. Yeah, so people can see that it's the library. And then we heard recently that there was concern about the hours. So we'll check with the management company on how to post the hours as well, so that it's clear. But it's just the same hours as the Wahiawa library was. So yeah, if you visited the library in the past, we have this exact same hours.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy. Okay, I'm going to open it up to the community. Community, any questions? Please come to one of the microphones.
Hey, name is Leila Rahman. I'm on the board for the Friends of the Library, and we haven't been really well informed. So could the board members also get a copy of whatever you gave out, or have access online to what you planned for the library? Because a lot of this is new to us, and I don't know, we're the last to know about it. And I question the name of Wahiawa Center for Workforce Excellence. It sounds like it should be under the Department of Labor instead, because they have a workforce organization there too. Shouldn't it have been Wahiawa Center for Learning or something like that instead of Workforce Excellence? because it's all education, right? Just, yeah, just a hint as to what it's really about versus what you want it to be, yeah? And thirdly, let's see, what was the meeting room, are the other schools going to be using the meeting room on the ground level at the library also besides the library? Okay, because periodically we have fundraising for, we have book sales. And
Lee, I'm sorry, Lee, can you talk more into the mic? Because you're really soft.
we have book
Thank you.
sales, in the library. And sometimes we store the books that are donated for the book sale in that same space. So would that be allowed also as the landlords? Okay, because I think that the library has not been fully communicated to. And when the librarian tried to ask about what she'd like to see in a new library, she was told that she had no jurisdiction in that. So, I feel that the state people should share with the local people because they know more what the needs are of the community than downtown. Okay.
You should have just turned around and asked her.
I can't swivel that.
Okay.
So as the board member said, the use of the meeting room is going to follow the same practice that we have for current meeting room use. I know all of the floors have their own meeting spaces, but if there's something that they wanted to maybe have the whole public come in and we can cooperate and do a partnership in our meeting room, that would make sense to us to have usage. We do understand that the Friends do sales and we benefit from those and all of your volunteer time. So we very much appreciate that. We anticipate that those would continue on as a fundraising event for libraries. The Friends now actually have a space that we created. So storage would be in that space as well as, if there's an event popping up for a book sale, prepping in that space as well. For the planning, unfortunately, because we have our new manager, we had finished a whole bunch of the design before the new manager came in. And so it was too late to kind of roll back and restart again on the planning side. We are going to incorporate the staff fully in when the building is turned over on the programs and services that are offered into the spaces, because that's tied to the knowledge of the community and what the community needs.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Larry Meacham, also Wahiawa resident. I wanted to thank you for toning down the size of the graphics because now it fits in much better than before. It looked like something you'd see in Mexico City or Shanghai before, so thank you for that. I want to ask one small question. IAEA Library has a way of getting to the meeting room outside of library hours. Does this have also? Okay, thank you very much.
There'll be a friend's office.
Joe, in the mic, Joe.
Oh, what I meant was, sometimes the meetings go later or longer than library hours. So it's best to have a separate entrance to the meeting room.
Yeah, we can work that.
Yeah, so they have that. That's good.
Also with the new design for the meeting room, it has the exterior patio that will come along with the meeting room. So if you use that meeting room space, you can open the doors and expand your event out onto the open air area. So we hope that it'll be an enhanced feature.
Well, Tom Lenchenko again. I was just wondering, back in the 90s, they did the Wahiawa master plan. And I think they had one height limit to the building. So when you're looking at the new civic center and then the library, they're going to jump a couple feet, yeah? And I was just wondering, the height limit of the hospital is still lower than what is being built now? Okay, so, just so it doesn't get lost and then we get condominiums coming inside Wahiawa, So I was hoping that it stays within the structured agreement from the Wahiawa master plan, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Aloha, Kay Kai Perry, Wahiawa resident. Some concern about the parking. So I know you said about 86 stalls. And then 22 on the bottom floor for community. And then is there anything available for community on the second and third floors, especially third floor? Because if that's University of Hawaii and students are coming and community coming, I'm hoping it's not just professors getting parking stalls, you know what I mean? So first, that's my first comment. Yeah, the second one, wait, let me look. The second one kind of dovetails with it. So, you know, there's a lot of issues of safety concerns. I work at the university in Manoa, so there's a lot of safety concerns. So we try to balance this, make sure, because our commitment is to the community, make sure that the community is having optimal access to the space, but at the same time, also ensuring that there's some safety involved. So when I looked at the pictures, I was a little bit concerned because there's like a check-in space for the university one. And I'm wondering if that's gonna, you know, kind of inhibit the community from being able to access. So my question would be, how much community access is being made available to that site, that part of the site?
Okay, so we decided to tag team this answer here. So I'll start with your last point. So both the second floor and the third floor, they both have a check-in area before you can go back to the program area, quote unquote program area. That is intentional for what you said, security reasons, right? We just don't want both the Department of Education and the University of Hawaii wants to make sure they know who goes through those doors at all times. So that is intentional. Unfortunately, the public won't have free access back there. Access will be dependent on if you need to use the facility for any reason, or you make arrangements with that group for whatever reason. So that was intentional for what you just said, security reasons. So that's the last one. Parking, I think Stacy kind of brought it up earlier as far as parking. We understand that we have 86 stalls and there's going to be varying use throughout the day. I think Stacy said it best. Really, the three user groups for the three floors are really going to have to work together to understand that, hey, parking is not unlimited, right? You can't have every single guy come there. The arrangements are going to be in place between the user groups to collaborate and understand that, hey, at given times, we might need spaces for different functions, what have you, but that's all in an arrangement that's going to be worked out between the user groups as of right now. All we know for right now is the understanding is that downstairs is strictly made for public use.
Go ahead, to the microphone, Thank you.
So, thank you. So the three user groups are going to decide the community access. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, at what point are they going to engage the community to make sure that what they're thinking about should be available, is actually what the community needs? Can you talk to them?
Actually, the community parking, the free, easy access parking will be on the first floor of the 22 parking stalls for the library. The library will be the ones who control access upstairs, working with the two tenants upstairs. So we'll have to figure out how to do that while still maintaining some kind of secure access to this upper levels. Once we figure out how to do that, once they figure out how to do that, that can be promulgated through signage and through community notices like through this meeting here.
Good questions, everyone. Thank you very much. Joe, anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Pony.
Mahalo. So mahalo for the presentation. I really appreciate it. You spoke to mechatronics. And I just wanted to kind of drill down on that a little bit. For those of you that are not familiar, mechatronics is mechanical engineering and electronics. It's something that our kids and our keiki growing into industry and into workforce can take advantage of. It's anything from drones to ag tech to what value-added products. My former career, I worked for Starbucks, and every time they had to fix an espresso machine, they had to fly people in from the mainland to fix it. So when we look at food production and food manufacturing and the workforce that's being developed here, creating the opportunity for our keiki to work in that department versus flying in people, which I think the Value Added Center is already doing, is flying people in to fix their machines, is kind of ironic. The caveat to that is that I think the mechatronics program is going to be awesome and useful, but it takes 2 to 3 years for the DOE to establish a pathway for mechatronics in the high school. And so I'd like to put it out there on the radar for the DOE to start looking at creating the pathway now so that they can get it on the registrar and get the keiki to start looking into that programming now so that when, I think you said 2027, the program opens here in Wahiawa, our students can merge and take advantage. So if we're not doing that, then our residents are not getting the advantage that they so deserve here. My second comment is about the outside facade and the valuable feedback that I think the students provided. But my comment is, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anybody, can we get past pineapple? Okay, because Wahiawa has got a lot more deep, rich history that we can speak to, even in really raising up why is Ka'ala Elementary School called Ka'ala Elementary School? And what's the importance and value of Ka'ala and Mount Ka'ala, especially as we work against this gondola development? What is in Mount Ka'ala that's important? Our vai, our animals, our snails. Also, Lelehua High School, right? Or Iliahi Elementary School. There's so much rich history that we're not talking about. And I just really would love to urge not another building to be branded about pineapple because we predate the pineapple. And so I just would like to put that out there as well. Mahalo.
Thank you, Pony. Well said. Well done. Anyone else?
Chair, I
before-
just wanted to make a comment.
Yes, go ahead.
Eric and Stacy, yeah, and the other lady here from the DOE, thank you for bringing this to our community. But I would hope, like what our community member in the back said, is that while we understand that this is going to be Wahiawa Public Library, Department of Education offices, and UH Community College space, I would hope that it would be such a space where our community would still feel welcome. And I think community engagement, and you know me, Eric, I'm all about that, right? I think continuing to engage with our community about being able to use, even if to just take a tour of what the community college may have, or even to see where our Department of Education offices that affect so many of our keiki, because it will include not just Wahiawa and Mililani, it will include Helemano Elementary School, it'll include Haleiwa Elementary, Waialua Elementary, and Waialua High School. And I would think as long as we can continue to engage and make the space welcoming and not necessarily a warm and fuzzy place, but someplace where the community can go at any time to learn about what is there, know that the resources are right here in downtown Wahiawa, and not trying to call a series of numbers to figure out which DOE office you have to go to because you have a child at Haleiwa L and then one at Wailoa High School. So I would ask that you continue to provide great community engagement with all of us as the project moves forward, because we're still in infancy in a sense, yeah? So thank you, I appreciate it.
Last chance, any other questions or comments? Okay, I think we're good for tonight. Thank you so much to Eric. Thank you. And everyone from your team, Stacy, thank you from your team. Okay, good discussion, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're gonna go out to presentation number 2, which is a discussion and review of this year's Hawaii State Farm Fair that took place in Whitmore Village. Thank you, Brian, for hanging in there with us. Can you join us now to have some discussion? I thought he was there.
Charles Miller talked earlier.
Oh.
Charles spoke earlier about the Hawaii Farm.
Yeah, is he there? Not there. Oh, I'm sorry, Charles. Charles, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Chair. What? Oh, I thought the person earlier was part of the farm fair that was raising their hand. So I thought that was them.
Oh, no. Okay, so no one is there for tonight's meeting then? Okay, all right. I'm very sorry, everyone. We will follow up with that and try to get that rescheduled for next month. Oh, actually, we have a full agenda. We'll get back to you on when we can schedule that. So moving on to our elected officials. I know it's about 9 o'clock, but we can move on to our elected officials. So is Kevin online?
Hi, Chair Ishikawa. Kevin's here.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you.
Hello, board members. Thanks very much. I know it's getting late, so we have a lot to cover, and I'll try to get through that. As Councilmember Wire mentioned, the resolution for the demo of the existing structure on Avocado Street property is on the council agenda. So if folks could provide testimony for that, that would really support all of our efforts. And we really appreciate that. With respect to the street repairs at Halikoa Building and the parking lot around that core curve on Kalani Avenue, per the DFM Assistant Chief for the Electrical Division, all the lights are working per the GE light grid, and a physical check was conducted earlier this month. I haven't been out there, so I haven't been able to see at night. I haven't been able to see that myself, but would just like to confirm that those street lamps are now working.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thanks very much for that. Illegal dumping concerns. The overgrowth on the Bethel Bible Church along of Wahiawa along Koa Avenue. My understanding is that a notice of violation was issued on July 8th for overgrowth and discarded items on the unimproved sidewalk area. And then a refuse inspector for the Department of Environmental Services was dispatched to the location again on July 14th. And all illegally dumped items were removed and overgrown areas were cleared of grass and hedges. Hopefully that's the current status. We'll try to keep it that way. There was a question about the Halikoa room ceiling fans. A work request to repair the ceiling fans was submitted on July 24th, and a follow-up call was made to the city's electricians today. They will be sending a crew to troubleshoot, today being July 31st, I apologize. They will be sending a crew to troubleshoot the possible electrical issues and hopefully we can get that resolved. I think there was also a question about the water cooler. And unfortunately, looks like the life expectancy of that water cooler has come to an end. And we're planning to purchase a new water cooler for the Halikoa room as soon as funding becomes available. And once we purchase the new cooler, we'll get that installed. I'll continue to follow up on that because I don't know if there's money in the existing fiscal year 26 budget and whether or not that's going to get pushed out to fiscal year 27, but we'll follow up, Chair. And then we had a question about the homeless encampment on either side of the Karsten Thought Bridge. And I guess on Wednesday, August 6th, the District 2 community policing team spoke with Dole Plantation representatives who are responsible for that property. And they've set up, I guess, a series of meetings to work together on that. So we'll continue to monitor it and naturally just let me know if you have any questions. That's it for the reports. Chair Ishikawa, I had also sent you a flyer regarding Wahiawa walkway projects. I don't know if you received that or not, but did you receive that in the email I sent to you? I think there were a couple. Anyway, it's kind of important for the community, so maybe I'll just read this real quick if I can. The City and County of Honolulu's Complete Streets Office has developed a new program to design and construct high-priority walkways recommended in the Oahu Pedestrian Plan. The initiative's goal is to create safe, accessible, and vibrant streets to enable people of all ages and all abilities to get around safely and comfortably by walking and using other forms of transportation. Phase 1 of the program will include projects in 6 neighborhoods, including Wahiawa. This will look at sidewalk gaps in these neighborhoods that were prioritized based on an analysis of factors like proximity to schools, bus routes, connectivity, and crash history, all of which have come up in previous neighborhood board meetings. The Walkways project aims to improve pedestrian safety and accessibility along key streets. The 2 streets that were identified in Wahiawa are California Avenue from North Kamehameha Highway to the 2200 block of California Avenue, and Glen Avenue from the Uuku Street, North Kane Street to the vicinity of Kellogg Street. Not quite sure exactly where that is. And the project proposes to construct missing sidewalks, shared use paths, pedestrian, which is I guess bike and ped, pedestrian refuge islands, and curb extensions, protected bike lanes, and to improve pedestrian crossings. So most importantly, I think that the folks from, I think this is Department of Transportation Services, well, Complete Streets, I guess, is DPP and DTS. They were looking to come out, I think, and make a presentation at this board meeting, but weren't able to get on the agenda somehow. But the meeting, the community meeting to discuss the project will be on September 9th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Right there at the Wahiawa District Park. So it's September 9th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And if you did not receive the flyer, Chair Chicago, happy to send it to you again. Just let me know.
Yes, please. I just checked earlier when you're talking. It's not on my email. So if you could resend, I'd appreciate it.
Okay,
And then I'll
well,
distribute it to my board.
Okay. I want to check to see can you give me your correct email again? Is that okay over the?
No, I'll give it to you after.
Okay. Or you know what? The text works fine. So if you want to text that to me, because I
All
might
right.
have been using an old one. Sorry, Chair.
No problem. Thank
But
you.
that's all I have. I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Open for questions from the board. Michelle?
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Michelle.
When you talked about the fans, I saw Kelly just shaking her head because the electricians, apparently they came, but they did not do a complete job. Half of the fans are turned on. The other half you cannot turn on. There's no switch. And they took out the switch that allowed us to go low, medium, and high, and just replaced it with like a light switch. So you have one speed for half the fans.
Okay. Do we know if that's a temporary fix or is that what they're planning to do forever? I'll be happy to follow up with DFM on that again. Or maybe Kelly's got more updated information.
So I hope these electricians only get 50% of what their bill is.
Okay. Ethan had his, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and continuing that topic on the ceiling fans in the building, I went over to the water fountains and they still are not working, even though it was brought up in a previous neighborhood board
No,
meeting.
we just mentioned that they aren't working. Let me see. Right. Yeah, they're not working and they've outlived their useful life and they need to be replaced. And so what I mentioned was I'm not certain that there's money in the fiscal year 26 budget to do that. So it may have to wait until the 26, 27 budget, but we'll continue to follow up on that. But the water fountains don't work and they have to be replaced.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, go ahead, Sylvia.
So we have to bring our own water, yeah? Okay.
Always.
Okay, this has to do with the bus schedule. Is there a way, I've been asked by several Wahiawa residents who work on Schofield. There's only one bus that goes from Wahiawa to Schofield and from Schofield back to Wahiawa. And it doesn't always come on time. There is an app that's not always updated. And so for example, if we can review the schedules, because those people that need to be at work by 7 have to catch like a 5 o'clock bus, meaning that it's dark, you wait in the dark, and there's a lot of things. If you get off at 3 or 3:30, your bus, if you get off at 3:30, the next bus comes about 4:20. So by the time and that's if the bus is on time. And then you don't get to Wahiawa till about, 4:45 and possibly home by 5:30. In other words, it's just, I know we looked at this at another time, several years ago, but there's a lot of people that work on Schofield, and if we could just look at the schedule to see if there's a better way to accommodate them.
Okay, do you know what route number that is by any chance? I'm sure it's easy to find, but
It's actually Route 5112 and
Okay.
511.
Oh,
Hi, Kevin, it's TJ.
Hi.
512 and 511. And actually, the bus has two different links on their website. One which gives you the schedule, you can look at it by route, and one which actually gives you real-time information that tells you where the buses are and where they're coming. So I think maybe an increase in ridership might spur more buses, because it does come like once every 45 minutes. So if we can maybe get another study done, Kevin, so we can actually see the current usage of that bus route, because now with school out, school back in, we do have a lot of students that attend Lelehua High School as well as Wahiawa Middle School that come off of the Schofield base as well.
sure thing. Thank you for that information. So it's routes 512 and 511. And
Yes.
get that on the rises to follow up with DTS.
And there is an increase in ridership since the last time we did that study. So
Oh, good.
it's about
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Michelle?
In about the sidewalks, if possibly, because I can't go to that September 9th meeting, could the sidewalk, or could you add a sidewalk by the avocado property that we're always talking about? Because the Kapuna come from the senior housing, not housing, but senior apartment back that way, and they are walking to CVS. And I saw the, which is down avocado across, then across Cam Highway.
Yep. We'll send an email tomorrow to those folks and give them a heads up.
Thanks.
Okay. Any questions from the community?
Chair Shikawa. Kevin, I actually just wanted to impress upon not just you, because you see us here every month. We talk about the fans. Now we're talking about the water coolers as well. We have a Kupuna group that meets here every Monday at 9 o'clock throughout the year. And I think it's imperative that resources like cool water be available for them. We do have year-round keiki activities. We just got through with summer and it was vela, very much. So I think if there's anything that you can do to impress upon the importance of having the water cooler replaced, it would be really, really appreciated, because there are quite a few kupuna that are here for our Rainbow Seniors group every week. And again, of course, our after-school activities here at the park, the water fountains don't all work outside as well. So anything you can do to help push along the installation of new water fountains would be appreciated.
Okay, we'll coordinate with Councilmember Wyer's office and also the Department of Facilities Maintenance to see what can be done, if we can do something urgently.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Go ahead, Joe.
I think that would be a great opportunity for somebody like Kiewit to support the community.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Was that for me?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Apologize for that. Okay,
No.
I'm going to go to the community. Any comments from the community? Okay, any questions virtually? Okay, we're good. Kevin, thank you very much for your
Thank
report.
you all. Mahalo.
And Kelly, is that, or council member, I'm sorry, I apologize. I was looking right at her, I'm sorry.
Aloha, Chair, board members, members of the community. So first, just to follow up, thankfully, Director Ajay covered a lot of our notes. I'll note, we did talk to Board of Water Supply about the Avocado Street and Mango Street water theft concern. They said both properties had no active theft, tampering, or evidence of ongoing theft, but definitely can report any other observations if they come up. The paper towel dispenser, DPR Parks Department told us that there's a island-wide paper towel shortage. So we're gonna follow up and see if we can get maybe the blow dry dryers in the bathroom. I don't know if folks are amenable to that, but we figured that would be at least something we could look into. The Whitmore Community Park, the individuals living in the shed did accept services last week, and then a work order has been issued to demo the shed. We don't have an exact timeline though on that. HPD is aware of the mechanic shop parking issue on Olive Ave. They've been in contact with the owner and they've gone out and, are citing vehicles if they find them, but they said they haven't observed yet any active fixing or repair of cars on Ojai Street, but they'll continue to monitor. That also applies to Mango Street. DPP did go out to inspect to see if they could issue violations regarding the car dealership parking their inventory on Mango Street. And they'll continue to follow up in HPD as well. We'll continue to monitor that. I know that the clock has come up several times. We've had risers in for a little over a year. But with the clock and the smudging, we'll follow up with Director Auger also to see if we can get a quicker response. I know in the past, they said that the clock had issues with the parts not being readily available. And then after that, there are issues whenever the power goes out. It messes up something in the clock. And so that's kind of the info we have so far. But I agree, we want to get that fixed as quickly as possible. We did look at the Avocado Street, Walker Avenue, Mormon Church hedges, and it appears that's been addressed as well. But I'll defer to the community if there's other concerns or follow-up. So we did pass out our newsletter. Again, we were happy to have Inspired Play Hawaii along with a lot of our park staff at the council for our honorary certificate. Extremely grateful for them getting the playground installed so quickly after the arson incident. Turning to the second page, we have some info on the 525 property that I mentioned earlier. So again, if you want to testify on that, please feel free. Again, what the city is taking testimony on is going in to demo the property. We have, mentioned, and I know we've talked with the board about uses for the property. I'm appreciative of Senators Dela Cruz's, intention to use it to support the park with the LNR. I think that's a great long-term goal. I think as a city, we're also looking for whether it's there or other parcels to incorporate additional services, could be core services. So that's the ambulance services that go and do outreach to homeless community. And we've also been talking with OER, Office of Economic Revitalization. They're wanting to do impact hub type work, working with small businesses. And then Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts is also open to looking at cultural space in the community. And so I throw that out as a part of the continued conversation, because in the immediate, I think the main goal is to demo it, get it clean and safe. But of course, activating it will require partnership. I think the anticipation is that if the LNR does fall through and acquire it in the sooner rather than later, then they'd be able to activate it. But in terms of options for the city, I'm open to ideas from the community. And of course, those could apply to other properties as well. So also wanted to note a couple other items we introduced. Resolution 25234 came about directly from just what we observed during the tsunami warning. I think everyone saw folks just out in traffic, people trying to get home, maybe some of you. And it really became clear, when the news did a stop at Sunset Beach and they were filming and they're talking about how clear the road is. And then I want to say about 6:30, I'm getting all these texts from different community members across North Shore, particularly closer to Wheat Circle. And when I talked to admin about what's going on the ground at that point, later into the evening, HPD, I think, had retreated and we didn't have traffic cameras up there. And so it just kind of blew my mind, just the limited visibility. And so that result specifically would be looking to add additional traffic cameras, particularly, so one, at the forefront, we know where to deploy resources when we need to try to move things along. Then, of course, when first responders pull back, we have eyes on the ground. And then, of course, after the fact, to have better visual on the most impacted communities, right? Because those most impacted may have limited communication. So that's kind of the goal of that. And we realized that with the different city facilities around the island, particularly police stations or ambulance or ocean safety, that I think it would actually be a fairly feasible project to do. Then also wanted to note another resolution we have coming up, Resolution 25-185. Pretty straightforward, and it's just a result of some of the conversations we've had with the community for various housing projects. Just that when the city is supporting a new housing development, whether it's through incentives or even a city-owned project, but in particular anything that the council is going to be reviewing and passing, that we want to have city staff supporting relocation efforts if needed, which typically are minimal, but we just want to make sure that if a new project's coming in, say knocking down a 2-story to build a few hundred units, that those in the units existing have support to get relocated as well. The next page just has some community updates. Of course, we're happy to honor the honorees at the Laka Association Bash. And then, of course, I know the Mount Ka'ala community meeting was a success. Many of you were there. And I know it came up tonight. I'll just note that DPP director texted me today. And so the project did pull back their modification application. I share that with you because I think it could be used in your discussion, depending on how you decide to have it, if you want to adjust or alter any resolutions you pass, whether it apply to future modifications or the existing conditional use permit, or you want to look at a different angle of the project as well. And just do echo some of those concerns. I know some of the board members are up there on Friday, up at the top of the mountain, and it really is an amazing experience to see just native plants, the snail work that's going on up there to support them and other endangered and native species. And so just such an amazing space that I think really speaks to the importance of protecting the mountain. Of course, we have the new crosswalk near Helemano Elementary School, and was going to highlight the meeting that Director Ajay mentioned. So would encourage folks to come out to that as well. And then, of course, we're at the recent Emergency Services Mass Casualty Incident Conference. Just wanted to highlight that because I think it's really important. It's their second annual, and they brought folks from all over the country, from New Orleans, New York, Chicago, with different experiences to just educate our first responders to ensure that we're better prepared. And so that's all the info I have today. Happy to take any questions. I'll just encourage anyone who hasn't to sign up for our newsletter, our email newsletter. There's a QR code on the bottom. We send those out at least monthly, and then we'll sometimes send them out more if there's more information to share. But for all the information that, we didn't get written down today, like info on the walkways meeting and whatnot, we'll send that out by email as well.
Okay, thank you very much for the report. Questions from the board? Yes, Michelle.
Hi.
Yes.
I heard you say about the water on avocado, but I didn't catch what was the outcome.
So you said the water on avocado? So the Board of Water Supply went and investigated, and then they didn't find any evidence of water theft or tampering.
But the water is on. I mean, I saw water coming out of the hose.
Okay.
When I was sitting there, I personally saw.
No. Totally understand what you're understand that. I think what Board of Water Supply was particularly looking for was anything that indicated theft or tampering. I'm assuming it was off when they went based on their evaluation. Yeah. So I guess it would depend on what kind of work maybe the owner is or isn't doing, or who's over there. I can't speak. We can find out more from them, like what their exact report looks like if you'd like us to. Yeah, happy to do that.
Okay, and June?
Just want to clarify that the sidewalk project presentation is in here.
Yep, in this room, Holly Cole room.
That's all I wanted. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any other Michelle? EJ.
I got you. Thank you for your presentation. Appreciate it. And yes, that trip up to Mauna Ka'ala was certainly beautifully heartbreaking. So thank you for your participation. But I wanted to ask, you had spoken about a resolution or something that may be coming before the council about related to the tsunami, right? Clearing of the highways or whatever. Has any conversation been had about opening an access road above Kamehameha Highway? Because we all know, because we grew up right along that stretch, that especially during the high surf season, there are spots on the road where the sand does come over, the water comes over. So if we actually do have a tsunami or some other weather incident that comes our way, we'll definitely need another way out, like how they opened Kole Kole Pass. Do you know if there's any conversation about that? A
Yeah.
separate road?
No, that's a good question. It's ongoing. I think that's been conversation over the past or several years, but around North Shore and then even down to on the Kolaloa side as well, the various Cane Hall roads. And I think at this point, we're still data gathering regarding the particular event for the tsunami warning. So I think there'll be opportunity to flesh that out more, maybe provide more momentum to identify additional access points. I think our hope is that we'll have a broader conversation in the Public Safety Committee once the city as a whole is able or ready to come forward with, lessons learned. Because I think each disaster or near disaster is an opportunity to learn and then improve and then make sure we're better prepared. So definitely appreciate the question.
And thank you, because we are coming up on surf season again, and I know where my house is down in Sunset Beach, the water comes over the sand, and there are people that are not familiar with the area as they drive through. You can see them dovetailing or fishtailing or whatever all along Kamehameha Highway. So I think any kind of conversation is good conversation about what we can do to be better prepared, even if only for high surf season.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
And June?
I believe that, I know North Shore community wanted to utilize Drum Road, but it's not passable right now from what I understand. I don't know if you know anything about it, but previously, Drum Road was built or rehabilitated for use when the Stryker Brigade was here. And the North Shore community wanted to utilize that road as an additional emergency route out of the North Shore. Well, I found out that like several years back, that the road was washed out in a storm, and I seriously think that the Army probably does not want to build it up again if they're not going to get the lease for use of Kahuku area. It wouldn't make sense for the Army to build a road and just not be able to use the land, that the training land out at Kahuku. I know you don't know any of the background about this, but maybe if you could find out if that's the case, that's why they don't want to, because I know that road is not being used because the beginning of the road is right off of the gate, the back gate side. And evidence shows that that road is not being used at all. Yeah. And I don't blame the Army for not wanting to build up that road right now, especially with the use of the land is in limbo at this point.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And that is something I've heard as well in terms of parts of it being treacherous. I think there's also, when you're looking district-wide, there's also been concerns about the disposition of land and maybe, say, DLNR selling off land, in different chunks, right? And so you have roads being broken up as well. And so I think holistically, I would love to hear if there's additional follow-up, but we definitely will have the conversation at the city. I did want to flag one more thing, but I'll.
No, go ahead. I just have someone.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Okay. So I was gonna I know that Office of Economic Revitalization was gonna reach out, if they haven't, to possibly be on the agenda to talk about a Taste of Wahiawa event. It would possibly happen in November. And I know the agenda has been crowded, but just wanted to flag it today so that folks could maybe think through things they would want to see, concerns, things they would not want to see. I think the really high level idea that's been floated and folks are talking through is possibly closing off a section of Center Road with booths. So businesses, restaurants could come and set up, and then folks could park at the transit center and then have a trolley that picks up folks on Kane, goes up to Kilani, goes up to Dole, comes down Kamehameha, then comes down California. And the outreach right now is to a lot of the businesses to see what kind of setup could work. But that's just an idea that's kind of being thrown out there. And then, of course, community groups could possibly come and perform. Local artists could maybe showcase different things that they're working on. I don't want to stand that up as the presentation today, but wanted to float that general idea. And then if folks have ideas that they would want to see, not want to see, concerns about that, questions they would have about that, I think those would be good to come into whatever meeting is appropriate for OER to do the presentation.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll follow up on that, definitely. Thank you so much. Okay, any other questions for our council member? Because it is getting to 9:30. Any other questions before I go over? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just real briefly, like to thank Kelly and the councilman for keeping the homeless off Lehua Street. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions from the community? And hold on, we have Dean online.
Good evening, council member, and thank you for coming. My question is regarding the pedestrian bridge that DOT is going to be building. Have they reached out to you with any concerns or addressing the security that the bridge will entail or have in the building of it? And that's for after it's completed and released, the public can cross that bridge. That's always been a concern.
Yeah, they have not. We can flag that for their PIO, their public information officer, and see what kind of information they have. So appreciate that question. And actually, since you're online, I did want to follow up because I know there was a question about bus 52 and 60 extended hours as well. And so I think this would apply to the earlier question. DTS had just asked us to relay the 808 number, 808-848-5555. So 808-848-5555. And then once the operator comes on, you can press 5. And I think for any extension or change in bus services, they would definitely ask the community members interested in that to call, and they'll log it so they can log the level of interest. And of course, that would be on top of the, the data that they would be collecting on any studies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Any other questions for council member?
Mahalo, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on. So we're going to try and pick up some speed here, but we're going to move on to Governor's office. Is Rosemary here?
I'm here remotely. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, hi. Thank you. I'll keep it as brief as possible. Thank you, Chair. The governor had recently released his newsletter, which pretty much recaps some information that's included in there, includes a recap of some key legislation, which includes the governor signing Senate Bill 1396, also known as the Green Fee, which implements a fee to visitors. And this is to establish a funding stream to support Hawaii's environmental protection efforts. This new law increases the transient accommodation tax rate by 0.75% rather, beginning in 2026. Another key legislation that the governor's office highlighted was signage of Senate Bill 1300, which expands access to free school meals for qualifying students under the National School Lunch Program. And that program started under this bill. This started this school year, and it also expands to the following school year, where any student whose family income falls below 300% of the federal poverty level will be eligible for that program. And so there are other bills that are highlighted in there that were signed by the governor, but I will stop there in the essence of time, and I will open it up to any questions that I'm happy to take back.
Oh, thank you, Rosemary. Any questions from the board for the governor's office? Any questions from the community for the governor's office? Okay. And, oh, Dean, Dean, you
Hi.
have,
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good evening. With the resurgence of COVID on the rise again, has the governor directed IEMA or Department of Health to begin putting out any type of notices regarding the type of COVID that is going around? This is a much more worse virus because it's attacking directly the respiratory part of the human body. So, has the governor taken any steps to begin advising public awareness or making public awareness?
I don't have that information at this time, but I'm happy to take that back and find out for you, Dean.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
okay, thank you, Dean. Thank you, Rosemary. Any other questions? Yes, yes. No, no, come. It's, yeah, yes, it is. Come.
So thank you, Governor's Office. Quick question. The Sunday newspaper, it read as though you folks are negotiating with the U.S. military for some kind of lease in Pohakuloa. So, give up some land here, get some land there. So I'm curious to know what kind of negotiations are going on and what specific lands are you folks negotiating?
Thank you, sir. I'll take that back with me and find out for you.
Thank you, Rosemary. And if you can forward that to me, then we can forward the information out to the public. Thank you.
Will do, Chair. Thank you.
Any other questions for the governor's office? Virtually? Okay, we're done. Thank you very much, Rosemary, for hanging out with us.
Thank you, Chair. My pleasure.
Thank you. Moving on to Senator's office, Senator De La Cruz. Malachi, are you here?
I'm here, Chair.
Thank you so much for hanging out. Go ahead.
I'll try to keep it brief, Chair. Charles Miller here from Senator De La Cruz's office. So I'll start with some follow-ups from the last board meeting. Just an update on the CRB treatments on Royal Palm Drive. The next treatment is scheduled to be on between August 18th and the 29th, weather permitting. They'll do treatment on 89 palms on Royal Palm Drive and 10 palms on Kellogg. They're injecting systemic insecticide into the palms as they have not been improving. And the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity will be able to provide me more details after the treatment's been done. And then we've had some questions about the private CRB sprays. I did some calling around just to ask what companies can provide that. And I was able to get two. Sandwich Isle Pest Solutions is able to treat CRB, and Able Pest Management LLC is able to treat CRB. And then there's also a question about the replanting of palms on Royal Palm Drive. On the top of Royal Palm Drive, two young Royal palms have been planted, and then I followed up with Division of Urban Forestry to see if there's any further plans in place. And then an update on the Kahale project. Senator, staff, and the statewide Office of Homelessness are in continued conversation to find a location. With your, if you guys want, I can work for further times where the Office of Homeless can share to the neighborhood board if you guys would like that. I know that you guys said the agenda was full last time, but maybe not. Maybe the meeting in October. And then just a project update. The H2 metal plate going northbound, DOT announced that the construction was complete on Monday, August 11th. And then Senator De La Cruz thanks the community, the neighborhood board, and the city for their efforts on 525 Avocado Street. And Senator De La Cruz submitted testimony and support today on that project. And then Senator De La Cruz attended and gave remarks at the Center of Workforce Excellence groundbreaking. And then Senator and staff attended the last two Kauka for KK food drives at Wahiawa Freshwater State Water Park. And that's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Stand by. Any questions from the board for Senator's office?
Just a quick question, Malachi. Thank you for your report. Could you find out when DOT is going to be actually removing the signs along Kipapa Gulch on the freeway because the steel
Mhm.
plate is no longer there. The
Mhm.
signs still are, and people are still swerving to go on the shoulder lane. And there were almost a few, in fact, last week there was an accident. I'm not sure if it was caused by that, but there are cars that are still swerving to avoid the area because they don't know that the steel plate has been removed.
Mhm.
So if we could get the signs taken away, that would be helpful.
Yep. Yes, I can ask DOT.
Any other questions? Just go ahead.
Hi, Malachi. Oh, this is Erin. Sorry, Yvonne. Just follow up. Thanks for the information on the palms. My question is, are there studies that, to kill one pest, are we, impacting our environment? Because I thought at one point we decided not to do sprays. I know you're doing injections, it sounds like, but then you're recommending other companies to, do pest control. And I know it is imperative to take care of Rhinoceros beetles to get rid of them, but my concern is bee populations and just, trying to get rid of one, we're going to cause an ecological crisis in other ways. So just being mindful of that, I guess, if you're, asking public to take care of it. There was a great suggestion by someone of just the preventative care of, spreading the mulch around, taking care of your area and just sort of being vigilant and upkeeping your turf. I know that's not everything we can do, given the nature of this pest, but just cautious about some of that pest spray.
Mhm. Yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't promoting any of those companies. A question from last time, a neighborhood board was asking if there was abilities to do private like sprays on like private property. So that's what I was just following up with.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions from the board? From the community? And nothing online. Okay, I think we're done, Malachi. Thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Okay, and moving on to Representative Peruso's office. Is representative there?
I am.
Hi.
Aloha.
Hello, thank you.
So I just returned from a set of conferences. Most important was NCSL, and that's the National Conference for State Legislators. And essentially, that's the voice of state legislators across the country to our federal government. So we develop positions, we come to consensus on certain policy positions that then NCSL goes to the federal government and lobbies on our behalf for. So we spent about a week not only getting kind of some background on work that NCSL is doing around these policy issue areas with our new federal context, but also taking positions and making sure that we're all speaking with the same voice and making sure that the voices of the states are heard. So I serve on two committees at the national level, the Education Committee and the Natural Resources, Energy and Environment Committee. And that dovetails with the work that I do at the state level as well. And I think that this work is particularly important now at the federal level because we need to address the challenges that are being raised around, especially Medicaid and SNAP. So in that regard, we've been working with the new finance chair for the House to develop a package of revenue generation proposals that we hope will be amenable to the governor and the Senate. But I have a lot of optimism right now at this point. I did also just want to point out a couple of things that came up in the course of this evening's conversations. We have just gotten a response from the Department of Transportation. We had been hopeful that on Rose that they were going to be willing to provide some traffic calming structure and maybe some speed humps or something. And they informed us that they, based on their studies that they recently conducted, they did not find that there was much excessive speeding. And so our follow-up is going to be to ask them for the specific data and the evidence from their studies, because I'd like to dig deeper into that, because that's not been my experience on that street. And my sister lives on that street, so I go there often. And then the second issue I just wanted to touch on, the e-bikes and also the dirt bikes and more regulation around them. it was, what was shared before was correct. The bill that made it all the way through the legislature was vetoed by the governor. But we are ready and poised. Representative Keela has already drafted a bill that has gotten the AG's approval, and should we go into special session, which I hope we will in November, we'll be ready to pass that. So that's all I have for right now. I know we're running super late, but I really appreciated the presentation this evening, and I'm disappointed we weren't joined by the Farm Bureau.
Okay, thank you very much, Representative. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the community? Any questions virtually? None? Okay. Wow, Representative, you got off easy this time. No questions. But thank you very much for a very
Thank
good
you.
report. That was
Okay.
information. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to move on to board business and board members. I did forward you a text from the NCO regarding the problems they had earlier today with the link and all that. And one of their recommendations was that we do not take any action on votes today. So we'll end tonight's meeting at this point. So I'm just going to read the announcements. So moving down to item.
Chair,
Yes.
could I ask one thing?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Would it be appropriate to ask for corrections to the previous minutes? And
I-
we don't vote on it until next time?
No, we have to carry that over.
Okay,
Yeah.
but can't ask for corrections.
Not,
At
because
this
then we
point.
have. to-
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Just was wondering.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So item 8 on the announcements, our board meeting, the next Wahiawa Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 meeting will be on Monday. Oh, this is the wrong date. Monday, this is the wrong date for the next meeting. It's for our next meeting in September. Yeah, so it's September 15th, Monday, September 15th at 7 p.m. here at the Wahiawa District Park's Halikoa Meeting Room. Please check the website for any updates. Okay, informational contact City Streets Pothole Hotline, 808-768-7777. State Streets Pothole Hotline, 808-536-7852. Hart Maintain Roads Pothole Hotline, 808-566-2299. City's Refuge Inspector's Office, 808-768-5220. Schofield Noise Complaints, 808-656-3487. And the Division Public Affairs Office is 808-655-4756. And having said that,
Madam Chair, point of
oh, yes, go ahead, Dean. Oh. Sorry, Dean, if you can hear me, we have already disconnected. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, I was
Oh,
just just trying to
ahead.
tell you that just prior to the board coming online, there was an open mic. So the board, you could hear the board members chatting about things going on, but I don't know if they would rule you in violation of sunshine law. So suggestion is you get with the videographer before the tape is set for public release, just to go over the first few seconds of the meeting to make sure you folks are not in violation of the sunshine law. There was an open mic.
Thank you very much for that information. And our NA right here has that, and he will be checking into that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, having said that, everyone, this meeting is adjourned at 9:46 p.m. Mahalo, everyone.